Hi, this is Sumit Kumar Dash, and I am a member of Informatica Global Customer Support Team. Today, we will discuss more about web user templates and settings in Managed File Transfer. Web user templates. Web user templates provide a method to configure the default account settings when new web users are created. By defining templates that share common settings such as authentication, permissions, account expiration, etc., this can be dramatically reduce the time needed to create new web user accounts. For an example, a template could be defined for the internal employee with all service and command permissions, Active Directory authentication, etc. Another template could be defined for trading partners to authenticate against managed file transfer with limited account permissions, and the account automatically expires after 30 days. Now let me show you how we can create it. First, you have to log in as an admin user. Once you have logged in as an admin user, you have to go to this user's account, and after that you have to select this web user templates. Once you have selected this web user templates, there is a button which shows like add web user template. You have to choose this add button, and here you have to add your names such as for an example, let me add test web user, and along with that, in the next step you can also add descriptions over here if required. So let me copy paste the same one and put it here. If I click on the next step, you will find the settings which can be used for the other web users also. For an example, if you want to choose the login method as a default one, if you uncheck it, you will find the native as my login method. Similarly, you can choose the password generation option, like if you generate a password based on the password policy, or you can specify the password during the creation. Let me select the second one. Similarly, there are multiple options for the password, like display password to the screen, allow user to change password. I'm using this option, and the password expiration interval, let me select is a never. And what are the authentication types? So these are the authentication types like HTTPS, AS2, FTPES, FTPS, and SFTP. Let me go to the next step, which have a certain groups. If you have created a certain group in the user web user groups, then these groups will be available here. You can select and assign those groups to this newly created web user template. Similarly, we have certain features where if you want to specify any protocol, then you can specify that. You can choose all of them, or you can choose according to your business requirement. Similarly, we have secured folders option, we have send secure email. You can select what exactly is your requirement. Similarly, we have folders option where if you want in a home directory, if you want to create a specific folder, you can create and specify its path. You can also add the permissions, like on which are the permissions which are only applicable to this folder, like list, download, upload, override, and whatnot. Similarly, there are other options like IP filter, time limits, and and some settings related to the AS2. So right now, let's concentrate on creation of a web user template. I have selected this option and I am going to save it. Okay, a virtual folder is missing an alias. Let me select. So since I have choose this option, so let me delete it. Yeah. Now let me go to the authentication and save it. So this test web user has been added successfully. Now what I have to do here is when I go to the users and I have to create a web user, then I just have to select add web user account. Now here you can see there are three templates which are already available. Once you just have to choose any of them, like test web user which we have newly created, and click on continue. So if you can see, click on this authentication, you will find all those options are already been selected. so you don't have to redo all those settings again and again for each and every web user. So this is its use. So it's it's actually a template which helps you to assign those settings for each and every newly created web user. This will save your time. Web user settings. The web user settings page allow you to define the global security settings and password policies for web users. To manage the web user setting, you have to log in as an admin user with the security officer role. From the main menu bar, select users and then click on web user settings link. The settings are broken out over 6 tabs named as general, password policy, username policy, profile, anonymous, and folders. Now let's discuss how we can use the web user settings. You have to log in as an admin user and then you have to go to the users and select the web user settings. This page will come. Now here in the first tab we have general settings where it has some options related to the web user accounts if they are invalid up to 3 login events. You can also increase the number or decrease the number according to your organization needs. Along with that, if any of the web user is inactive for certain amount of days, then these settings can be implied. Similarly, we have some settings related to the password policy, and here like we have if you want to enforce these settings, then you have to check this checkbox, and you have to use this minimum password length. For an example, these are the default settings like 8 characters in length, and minimum number of uppercase is taken as 1, with the minimum number of lowercase letters is taken as 0. Like the minimum number of digits should be 1, and here like the allowable special characters, here is the list. Similarly, we have in password age, and from here you can set these settings. We have username policy. For an example, if you want to change any settings related to the username, then here you can apply that, like the minimum username length, maximum username length, and these are the characters which are prohibited. Other settings include like profile, like it have the settings related to the first name and the last name, if the phone number is required, or the email. Some of the if you won't allow the anonymous web users to be logged in, then you have to check in this box, or some of the settings related to the folders. So here these are the web user settings. Once you made some changes, you have to click here in order to save those settings. We would love to hear from you. You can drop us an email at supportvideos@informatica.com. Also, you can send any query at our Twitter account InfaSupport. Thank you.